Today, it's all about the Phoenicians, ancient mariners who conquered the seas. How did they do it? Stay tuned and wait till the end for a mind-blowing twist you won't expect. Picture the Mediterranean thousands of years ago, a wild, untamed sea where only the bravest dared to venture. That's where the Phoenicians thrived, a civilization hailing from the sun-soaked coast of modern-day Lebanon, with bustling cities like Tyre, Sidon, and Byblos. Starting around 1500 BCE, these ancient mariners didn't just sail, they turned the sea into their empire, dominating waves and trade routes like no one else. So, what made them so extraordinary? Let's start with their ships, true marvels of the ancient world. Ever wondered how they crossed vast oceans in wooden boats? The Phoenicians had a secret, their genius shipbuilding. They mastered a technique called the Phoenician joint, where wooden planks were interlocked with mortise and tenon, making their ships strong enough to carry up to 500 tons of cargo. Imagine one of these vessels, its cedar hull gleaming under the Mediterranean sun, slicing through waves with a speed that left others in their wake. These weren't just boats, they were floating fortresses built to withstand storms and long voyages. And their navigation skills? Absolutely next level. They didn't have GPS or compasses. They used the stars, the coastline, and their instincts. Some say they sailed past the Strait of Gibraltar, braving the Atlantic to reach Britain's foggy shores for tin, a key ingredient for bronze. Picture them docking at Cornwall, trading with locals under a misty sky, their ships loaded with treasures from distant lands. But here's a question that'll make you lean in. Did they circle Africa? The Greek historian Herodotus claims they did, around 600 BCE, hired by Pharaoh Necho II. He wrote that the sun was on their right as they sailed, a clue they went south of the equator. Scholars still debate this one. Some say it's possible the Phoenicians had the skills and the ships. Others call it a myth, pointing to a lack of hard proof. Either way, it's the kind of mystery that keeps you guessing, right? Their seafaring wasn't just about exploration, it was about trade, and they were the rock stars of ancient commerce. Their network stretched from Mesopotamia to Spain, and they dealt in goods straight out of a legend. Cedar wood from Lebanon's forests, rich wines that filled amphorae, and Tyrian purple dye, a color so rare it was worth more than gold. That dye came from murex snails, and get this, it took thousands of snails to dye a single robe. Imagine the labor, crushing snails under the hot sun, the air thick with a briny stench, all for a drop of royal purple. That's the luxury they sold, and they controlled the sea routes to make it happen. Their cities were trade hubs, buzzing with life. Picture the port of Tyre, merchants haggling in a dozen languages, ships unloading cedar logs, the scent of wine and salt hanging heavy in the air. They traded with Egypt, bringing back gold and papyrus, and with Greece, swapping goods for olive oil and pottery. But it wasn't just about goods. Ideas flowed too. The Phoenicians were a cultural bridge, connecting distant lands in ways that shaped the ancient world. Their influence didn't stop at trade. They built colonies across the Mediterranean, starting in the 10th century BCE. They set up outposts in Cyprus, Sicily, Sardinia, and even Spain, each one a mini Phoenicia with its own markets and ships. The biggest? Carthage in North Africa, founded around 814 BCE by Queen Dido, according to legend. Carthage wasn't just a colony, it became a powerhouse, its massive harbor holding 200 ships, a fortress of trade and power that later challenged Rome in the Punic Wars. Imagine a web of Phoenician influence stretching across the sea, blending cultures wherever they landed. In Cyprus, they built temples with intricate carvings. In Sardinia, they mined silver under the stars. These colonies weren't just pit stops, they were thriving cities, tied to their mother cities through trade and tribute. Now, let's talk about their greatest gift to the world, the alphabet. Around 1050 BCE, the Phoenicians created a 22-consonant system, simple, brilliant, and the root of Greek, Latin, and the letters you're reading right now. Before this, writing was a nightmare. Cuneiform and hieroglyphs with hundreds of symbols. The Phoenicians made it easy, and their alphabet spread like wildfire. The Greeks borrowed it, added vowels, and passed it to the Romans, who gave us our ABCs. Think about it. Without them, writing this script would be impossible, but their talents didn't stop there. The Bible tells us Hiram of Tyre built Solomon's temple, crafting its bronze pillars and golden decorations with unmatched skill. Homer in the Iliad raved about their silver bowls and embroidered robes, calling them the best craftsmen of the ancient world. Their art was a fusion of styles, Egyptian flair, Syrian vibes, and their own flair, seen in golden masks, ivory carvings, and glass beads that shimmered like the sea. They were true trendsetters, leaving a mark on art, trade, and writing that still echoes today. So, why did they disappear? By 332 BCE, Alexander the Great crushed Tyre after a brutal siege, starving the city into submission. Their cities fell to Persia, then Rome, becoming part of the Roman province of Syria by 64 BCE. But their legacy? It's eternal. Their shipbuilding inspired Greek triremes, their trade routes laid the groundwork for Mediterranean economies, and their alphabet, well, you're using it right now, and here's that twist I promised. Some claim the Phoenicians reached the Americas. Yes, you heard that right. Stones in Brazil with strange carvings, a wreck off Honduras with odd artifacts. Most scholars dismiss it, saying there's no solid proof, but imagine if they did? What if they crossed the Atlantic 2,000 years before Columbus? That's the kind of what if that keeps their story alive, a mystery that sparks debates even today. That's the Phoenicians, lords of the seas, titans of trade, and the brilliant minds behind the alphabet. So, did they truly sail to the edge of Africa? Let's hash it out in the comments. Don't miss out. Subscribe to Ancient Chronicles HD for more epic history lessons. Catch you in the next one.